Today, we are talking about 5 interview questions you do not want to mess up. You do not want to miss these on your next job interview. The first question is the dreaded tell me about yourself question. The reason why this question is dreaded is simply because you guys don't practice it, and I wish that you would practice it just a little bit more, okay? This is one question you cannot miss. So, they're looking for a few things here, okay? I always have my notes, guys, but they're looking for a few things with the tell me about yourself question. They're looking to see that you prepared, that you have something ready to go. They don't want you to ramble at this point, because if you do ramble, I promise you, they will forget everything you said. It's just, this sets the tone for the interview. So you want to be able to introduce yourself properly. You want to be able to talk about what you did, what you're doing, why you're here, what brings you here. That's tell me about yourself. Tell me about your history, career history. Tell me what it is that brings you here on today. Tell me about yourself. It's simply an icebreaker. It is not the time for you to go over your entire career history. That is the first question you do not want to miss. Plan this ahead of time. Plan it out. That is the first question you do not want to miss. In order for you not to miss it, you have to prepare it ahead of time. This is your elevator pitch. Now, question number 2 that you don't want to miss is the mistake question. This is the question where they ask you, tell me about a mistake that you made on the job, or tell me about a time that you dropped the ball. You don't want to miss this question because everyone has made some kind of mistake before. They are looking to see that you know how to learn from your mistakes and that you're able to articulate that. You're able to come into this new workplace knowing that mistakes are inevitable. So with those being inevitable, the question is, how do you handle it though? Do you pick yourself up? Do you dust yourself off? Do you blame others? Was it your fault? Do you accept responsibility? How do you handle a mistake at work? Especially if it involves another party. Do you apologize to them? Are you empathetic? What is your thought process around making a mistake at work? That is one question you don't want to mess up on. What you want to do is share the mistake that you made, share the lesson you learned, and move on. Got it? Good. Next, we have the conflict question. Just like the mistake question, it's inevitable. You don't want to miss this question. You don't want to act like, you know what, I really don't get into it with anybody at work, or I've never really had an issue with people I work with. I pretty much get along with everybody. Wrong. You do not want to say that. Again, conflict, misunderstandings, disagreements, those things are inevitable. So you need to have prepared an answer ahead of time to talk about what it is that happened. Was it a misunderstanding in communication? Was it an email misunderstanding? Was it an in-person misunderstanding? Did you cost your company money? Did you lose a client? Hopefully nothing that crazy happened, but the point is not to talk about what you did so terribly or what conflict occurred. The point is to talk about how you resolved it. That's the key. That's the thing you don't want to mess up on. This is a question you have to know the answer to. Here's another one, the teamwork question. So you remember in college when we had to do projects and we had to work as a team, then you had some team members who didn't pull their weight, then you had others that did pull their weight, and then you were so glad when the team project was over with and you could just work alone. Yeah, I remember that too. And then you get into the workplace and boom, you got to work as a team all over again. It is what it is. This is why you cannot miss the teamwork question. They're going to ask you, tell me about a project that you worked on and you had to complete it with your teammates. Or they're going to say, tell me about a team project that you worked on. Or they're going to say, tell me about a time where you had to partner with another unit, or you had to partner with another department, or you had to just partner to lead a change or to lead a project. You got to look for keywords, guys, because they might not ask you specifically They might not use the exact word teamwork, but they are going to use those words that are relevant or that are similar to those, like partner, or when you worked alongside, or where you had to share a task, things like that. You don't want to mess this question up. All these questions that I'm talking about, you want to prepare and answer ahead of time. You want to prepare using the STAR method, because you know I always talk about it. You don't want to miss the teamwork question. Next, the salary question. Now, how you don't want to mess this up is you don't want to mess it up for yourself, okay? That's what you don't want to do. The salary question is not quite designed to trick you up, but it's designed to weed out people. You know, you have some companies who are more forward facing now and they don't ask the salary question, but you got some companies that still do. Now, what they don't need to ask you is how much you currently make. That's over with. You shouldn't be telling anybody how much you currently make now. If someone does ask you that on your job interview, you want to politely say, I'm not at liberty to disclose that due to my current organization, or I'm not able to disclose that due to confidentiality. Because here's the thing, you still work there, okay? You're really not supposed to be telling your salary anyway. So they could also ask you, do you have any salary expectations for this role? And this is where you don't want to mess yourself up. This is where you don't want to put yourself in a trick bag, as people like to say. But anyway, what you want to do is you want to already have a range outlined, a salary range that you're comfortable with. And you want to just calmly say, yes, I have some salary expectations. They're between this number and that number. For instance, yes, I have a salary expectation. I am looking to make anywhere between $80,000 to $100,000. Or yes, I have a salary expectation. I am looking to make between $20 and $25 per hour. Period. Put a period at the end of your sentence. Where people mess up is they start to ramble. They start to say, well, you know, I'm pretty open, blah, 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 but you're not. Unless you just are. But for the most part, you want to just plan ahead of time, put a pin in your number, stick to it, okay? That is why you do not want to mess up the salary question. Now, this question might be asked towards the end of your interview, and this question is, why do we want to hire you? Or why should we hire you? This is the polar opposite from the tell me about yourself question. So the tell me about yourself is the elevator pitch, just kind of summarizing, setting the tone for who you are, what you do, why you're here. The end question, which is, so why should we hire you? Why are you the best candidate for the position? That type of question, that is that sales pitch. You need to have thought ahead of time, what is it about you that differentiates you from the rest? What is it about you that makes you unique? If you are on the interview, 9 times out of 10, you already have the skills that were listed on your resume. 9 times out of 10, everyone at their interview has some type of skill set that they already brought on their resume that the hiring manager or the hiring team knows you have. So now is the time to set yourself apart and say what it is that makes you different. Is it your upbringing? Is it your foundation? And I know that sounds odd, but sometimes people resonate with that, depending on what type of organization you're interviewing for. Are you interviewing for a non-for-profit? Are you interviewing for a Catholic institute? Are you interviewing at a hospital that has Jesuit values? Whatever it may be, you need to be able to connect the dots on what is it that you bring to the table, what makes you unique, and what is it that is going to sell to them you, if that sounds right. What is it that you can say to sell yourself? Those are the questions you do not want to miss. If you check the description, you're going to see more details about each one of those questions in their own separate video. Like and subscribe. See you next time.